everybody, and welcome to our video. We are the Missouri Paranormal Association. My name is Michael. I'm the lead investigator. I'd like to introduce you to the rest of the team. We have Lorene, who is our second in command and lead investigator. And then we have Ted. He's our tech guy. And then we have Wendy. She's Lorene's sister. Now, before we go diving off into our videos, we'd like to ask you to do us a favor and hit that like button, share with your friends, and please hit that subscribe button. It's a little thing for you, but it's a big thing for us, and we do greatly appreciate it. You can contact us by going to our website at MissouriParanormalAssociation.com, or you can contact us directly by email at MissouriParanormalAssociation@gmail.com. You can check out our videos on our YouTube channel, and you can also check us out on Facebook. We conducted an investigation at a private residence here in Springfield, Missouri on November 13th, 2021. The client was reporting hearing voices, hearing strange noises, thumps, footsteps, etc. And she was reporting that her child was seeing a face, for lack of a better word, in one particular corner of her room. Anytime there's a child involved, we try to place a high priority on that particular case, which is what we did here. We knew with a child in the home, we had to make sure that the child was safe. We informed the client that she would need to place the child with a babysitter or family member on the night that we would conduct our investigation. We conducted our investigation on Saturday night, November the 13th, 2021. We set up camera 1 in the client's bedroom, and we placed camera 2 in the child's bedroom, and we set up camera 3 in the den facing through a hallway into the kitchen. We placed camera 4 outside the kitchen door facing into the backyard, where the client has been reporting seeing a shadow figure and the feeling of being watched. We conducted our investigation throughout the night and into the morning. When we finished our investigation, we took down the cameras, put away the equipment, thanked the client for her hospitality and allowing us to do the investigation, and also for participating in it with us. And we let her know that it would take us a while to go through all of the video and that we would eventually come back to reveal what we caught. On Saturday, May the 14th of 2022, we were finally able to return to this client to reveal what we caught. So we invite you now to come and join us as we reveal to the client what we caught on video during our investigation. Now, we did debunk a few things, so I wanted to go ahead and point out a couple of these. Okay, what happens here is you are standing over by the bed, and the other girl that was there, she's standing kind of behind you a little bit, and you lean over, and one of the cat toys kind of jingles, just a teensy weensy little itsy bitsy bit of a jingle, but we think we know what caused it. Watch what happens. She grabs this little thing right here, the little knob. She's going to lean over, and as she leans over, right there, just as she pulled on that bed knob.
Yeah.
So yeah, and everybody was freaking out because they thought one of the cat toys had jingled by itself, but no. Okay, so in the previous video, you noticed we were talking about the cat toys. At the beginning of our investigation, we did place 2 interactive cat toys on the bed in the client's bedroom. These were 2 plastic cat toys with little jingle bells inside. We also placed another interactive cat toy in the child's bedroom that glows when it's moved. These cat toys would come into play later on in the investigation several times, and it should be noted that the few times we thought we heard the cat toys jingle, or the times that they did jingle, when we went back through the video later, we were actually able to debunk almost every single one. As you just saw in the first clip from our reveal, we've just shown the first instance where we were able to debunk the jingling of the cat toys. So for the second clip, we're going to go to camera 2.
Yeah. Hey, who said that? Is that you? Or you?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Hey, who said that? Is that you? Or you?
Right. Okay.
As I enter the room with the camcorder and then turn to enter the master bedroom, I heard what I thought was the cat toys jingling on the bed. But after reviewing all the video from the camcorder, as well as camera 2 and camera 1 and camera 3, we were actually able to debunk this one, because we realized that what we were hearing was not the cat toys, but rather it was the bells on the front door. The client had a set of bells hanging on her front door that would jingle anytime anyone opened that door. It actually took us a while to figure this one out, because we had actually totally forgotten that the front door actually had those bells there, but we did figure it out and we were able to debunk this one. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next one, and this is a clip that was caught on camera 2 in the child's bedroom, and at first glance it almost looks like a possible spirit orb coming into frame from the lower right hand corner of the screen, and it dodges and weaves and turns, and at first glance it almost appears to be a possible spirit orb, because it's definitely moving against the natural airflow in the room. However, upon closer examination, we were able to debunk this one as a bug. If you examine the object in question very carefully, you'll be able to see the body of the bug, but you'll also be able to see the wings as they flap in motion, which is something we normally use to differentiate bugs from sky rods, which is something we'll get into a little bit later in this video. But as for this particular clip, yes, we were able to debunk this one as a bug. You can clearly see the wings flapping as well as the bug's body, so we can definitely say this has been debunked as a bug.
Okay, now this one, I don't know exactly what this is. It's something strange.
In the backyard still?
In the backyard. This only appears for a split second in the video, and it's the only time it happens the entire night. This showed up for a split second. If I had not been watching this as close as I was, if I'd have blinked, I would have missed it. But I don't think there's anything there that's paranormal. I think this could be possibly a glitch in the camera. I don't know for sure. I know it's not a headlight coming off of a car or anything. You've got these two things, one here, one here. To me, this almost looks like a rabbit head. I don't know how.
It's a flying raccoon. That's what that is. Look at it.
But anyway, here's the video as it appeared. It shows up for a split second. I'll replay it again. And I'll replay it again. Now I took a screenshot of it, and I put the screenshot in, so you can see it for a little bit longer period of time. I can even pause it on it.
That's crazy.
And I still don't know what that is. I don't. Deep inside me,
It looks like a face.
to me, I cannot say with any certainty if it's anything paranormal. I think it's entirely possible it could be a camera glitch, because this is the first time we ever had one of our cameras out at below 40 degrees.
Oh, okay.
None of these cameras had ever been outside in that kind of cold weather before. So it's entirely possible it could be some kind of camera glitch while adjusting to the cold. I don't know. I can't say. I don't know for sure. I'm just kind of guessing. But that would be my best guess. It's some kind of camera glitch. I don't know why, for some reason, that just looks like a bunny head to me.
It does.
It does. It kind of looks like the Easter Bunny.
Yeah. And this one, I'm not sure what to make of that, except it does look like a raccoon face.
It's gonna get your attention one way or the other.
Said, I'm here. So you doing a paranormal investigation? Oh, I'm a ghost.
I might want to rethink that blooper reel. Go back and put a few more in.
Okay, so the next thing we were able to debunk is the face that the child claimed to be seeing in the bedroom. Now, this may be a little more difficult to notice when you're looking at it through the lens of a night vision camera, but it is our firm belief that what the child was experiencing was actually a case of pareidolia. Pareidolia is a common phenomenon in which the brain, combined with the eyes, picks out familiar things in inanimate objects. This is the reason why people claim to see faces in clouds, or if they see the shapes of animals in storm clouds, if they see what they think is a lake monster when it actually turns out to be shadows in the waves, or if you see what appear to be numbers on the wings of a butterfly. What we're going to do here is we're going to show some video clips from our investigation, and we're going to try our best to point out the spot on the wall where we believe a case of pareidolia is happening. It's a little more difficult to do when you're looking at it through the lens of the camera, because these cameras tend to pixelate. Not a lot, but just enough to distort the way the shadows hit the wall. So as you're watching these clips, you're going to see where we've circled an area in a screenshot to point out the spot on the wall where we believe a case of pareidolia is happening, followed by the video. We're just going to show a few of these clips and basically point out that what we believe is happening here is basically a case of the child experiencing pareidolia. Basically, the child is not seeing a face, but rather that the child thinks she is seeing a face. It's simply a case of what we used to call your mind playing tricks on you. So with that being said, let's move on to the next debunking. Okay, so now we're on to our final debunking part of the video, and we're going to start with this first part of the clip in which the client seems to hear what she thinks is footsteps or shuffling around the kitchen door. I do want to point out that that door leads outside into the backyard, and you'll understand why I'm pointing this out in just a moment. But first, we're going to play this first part of the clip here, so watch this.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Dark.
Did you hear that?
What, like a popping noise or?
Like something walked or shuffled back there. I see you turn the light on. Like it scurried.
Okay, so clearly the client seems to think she's hearing something like footsteps or shuffling, something around that door in the kitchen. But it wasn't until we started going through the footage of camera 4, which was located outside in the backyard right next to that door that goes into the kitchen, that we found this. So now we're going to put these two clips together. The one clip of the client looking at the kitchen door and saying that she's hearing footsteps or shuffling or something. And then we're going to show you the footage from the outdoor camera. What you have to notice is the timestamp at the bottom of the screen. When the client notices shuffling sound at the door, time is 3:38 in the morning. So I'm going to point out here that when our friend shows up in the backyard, it's 3:36 in the morning. By the time this little fellow reaches the kitchen door, it's 3:37 in the morning. I need to point out that even though the video ends here, I do need to point out that our little friend here did stick around that kitchen door for at least another 2-3 minutes, which would put our friend here at the kitchen door at exactly the same time as the client hears the shuffling noise coming from the door. This is what we think our client was hearing. Not that it's anything paranormal, but she was hearing our little raccoon friend as he shuffled around the kitchen door at 3:38 in the morning. He then takes a few minutes to walk around the camera, and apparently he took the long route along the fence line, and then he comes back into frame again at 3:44 in the morning. So we were able to debunk this one. She wasn't hearing footsteps or shuffling of a paranormal sort. She was basically hearing a raccoon at the door. So yes, we were able to debunk this one. Okay, so now that we've got all the debunkings out of the way, we're going to move on to all the possible spirit orbs that we showed to our client, as well as a few that we did not have time to do.
We got numerous what we call possible spirit orbs, but we do want to go through a couple of these orbs, some of the better ones anyway. Okay, this is 2 orbs, possible spirit orbs, that show up at approximately the same time.
Whoa. Whoa. That was. Whoa.
Oh my
Watch.
God.
This first one comes in,
See them.
it disappears into the wall. Then the second one comes
Oh
in.
no, you're fine, Ted.
Oh my god.
Did you see them?
Now,
Yeah.
I've got these in slow motion. So what we're going to do, we're going to take the first
You're
orb.
fine.
Can see.
This is the first one.
We got
In slow motion.
Look at it later.
It'll be downloaded on our site.
I've slowed it down.
I'm gonna say she'll probably be looking
You
at
see
it.
it coming from over
Oh
here.
my
And then it
god.
heads straight over to that wall. It dives down and goes back up. Then it dives back down again. And then it
That
gets
is-
right over here, and it disappears straight into the wall. And this is the second one. And I've slowed it down, so this is also slow motion. See how bright it is? It's like it's glowing. That's one of the things that we look for in possible spirit orbs. Okay. See right here?
Yep.
Watch what it does. It comes down, dives down, goes back up.
It's like it was checking who was going in.
Yeah, because you see her come through the door,
Yeah.
and this thing shoots down and goes back up. This is
After
this is
that
one
one
that we
clip,
caught
yeah.
in camera 1. Very brief.
Is it?
No, I think it's something to do with the ball.
Right here.
Yeah, that's what I.
Yeah. It's like it's blinking. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like.
It dives down right here and disappears behind the bed. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to show some more of the orbs that we caught on video that we did not have time to show the client. We need to stress that we did give the client a disc with everything we caught on video. So everything you're about to see was included in the disc that we gave to the client. When we did our reveal, we were on a time schedule and we didn't have enough time to show the client right there on the spot all of the orbs that we caught on video. And for the sake of this particular video, we also do not have time to go through every single one. But at this particular time, what we are going to do is to show you, the viewer, some of the more impressive ones that we did catch. Now, the way we're going to do this is we're going to show each video clip in regular speed, and then we're going to slow it down and play it in slow motion. Each one of these are going to be played back to back. These are from different cameras 1, 2, 3, and 4. So with that being said, we're now going to show you some of the more impressive possible spirit orbs that we caught. This first clip is camera 2. This is in the child's bedroom. You see this thing come in from the right hand side of the screen, and then it dives down to the bottom of the screen. We do not believe that this is a piece of dust, mainly because at the time this thing appears in the screen, you'll notice the vent in the ceiling at the top of the screen. That's the central air and heat vent. At the time this thing shows up in the frame, there was no air or heat running. So basically the natural airflow in the room is next to zero. So there should be no reason for this. If it is a piece of dust, there's no reason that this thing would dive down like that the way this one does. So we are going to call this one a possible spirit orb. Okay, this next one is also in camera 2, and you'll notice this thing in the left hand side of the screen down at the bottom as it comes into frame. This thing is glowing very bright even before it gets close to the camera. A piece of dust, if it comes towards the camera, it's going to start off very transparent, and then it'll start to glow the closer it gets to the camera. But that doesn't happen in this particular case. Whatever this is, it is glowing even before it comes towards the camera. It's already glowing as soon as it appears in the frame. So yes, we're going to call this one a possible spirit orb. This next one is also in camera 2, and one of the things you'll notice about it, it starts off really big because it's right there in front of the camera lens, and it gets smaller as it travels away from the camera. Now that's typical of anything in the frame, no matter what it is. Anything that's in the frame, as it moves away from the camera, it's going to get smaller. But one of the things you'll notice is, even though it might appear that the farther away it goes, it seems like it gets more transparent, but then suddenly you realize, wait a minute, it's not really getting transparent. It seems to get transparent for a second, but then it glows again as it gets up towards what looks like a cross on the wall. Now that's not actually a cross or a crucifix. If you'll notice, you'll see what looks like strings hanging from it, and then there's a mannequin. This is actually a puppet, and what looks like a cross is not really a cross. It's the little mechanism that you use to operate the marionette. But when it's hanging on the wall like this, it looks like a crucifix. Now, as this object starts to get closer to that particular part of the marionette, notice how it starts to look like it's blinking, and it's still glowing. And the other thing is, it is moving against the natural airflow in the room, because at the time this one was recorded, the central air and heat was actually operating. So this thing, whatever it is moving against the airflow in the room, because the central air and heat was on. And if this thing was a piece of dust, the air coming out of that vent in the ceiling would
would have pushed it towards the floor, but that's not what happens. So we're going to call this one a possible spirit orb. Okay, this next one is also in camera 2. What you want to look for is the timestamp 7:33:24. Okay, whatever this is only appears on the screen for a split second, not even a fraction of a second, because you'll notice the whole time it appears, the 24-second mark does not move forward to 25. Notice also this object appears after the 24-second mark has moved forward from the 23-second mark. So this object appears after 7:33:24, but it also disappears before 7:33:24 moves forward to 7:33:25. This thing only lasts for a split second, whatever it is, and we are going to call this a possible spirit orb. This next one is in camera 3. This is in the den, looking through the breezeway there, going into the kitchen. And you'll notice this object coming toward the camera. It starts glowing as soon as it appears in the kitchen, and then it blinks as it travels towards the camera. As it blinks, it is actually glowing while it blinks. It dives down, and then it comes upwards towards the camera. Now, what we want to notice here is as it's blinking, as it blinks, it goes from transparent to glow to transparent to glow to transparent to glow over and over and over. Basically, this is because it's blinking, and we don't know what's causing that. And we do not believe this is dust. So we are going to call this one a possible spirit orb. And we're going to show this last one. This is from camera 4 that we had outside in the backyard. And you notice this thing, as it starts to come into frame, it's glowing as soon as it appears in the frame. And it continues to glow until it comes around towards the camera, and as soon as it gets close to the camera, it suddenly becomes transparent. That's exactly the opposite of what we would expect if it was dust or anything like that. And we can also say that most skeptics would probably look at this and say, oh well, it's a bug. Well, that's not possible, because if this were a bug, the entire body of the bug would be reflecting the IR light of the camera back to the camera, and it would continue glowing even as it passed by the camera. Not to mention the fact that if this were a bug, we would be able to see the wings flapping, which is something we do not see here. Now, the wings flapping on the bug is another subject that we're going to explore further here in just a second when we start moving into the subject of sky rods. But yes, we're going to call this one a possible spirit orb.
Have you ever heard of a sky rod?
No.
You know what sky rods are?
What is that?
Let me show you real quick. Hang on. We did an investigation a couple years ago at Pythian Castle. We took a lot of photographs that night. One of the photos we kept, you had a guy that was sitting down right here, and there's a woman standing in front of him, and they're sitting there talking. They never saw this thing or reacted to it, but I've got this thing circled right here. That's a typical sky rod, or what they call a sky rod. There's still debate in the paranormal community about what these things are. Some people say they are spirit related. There's other people on the other side of the fence that say no, they're UFO related. We don't know for sure. We just know sometimes they show up. And this is one that showed up at the Pythian Castle investigation. See how it's got that like almost like a corkscrew type shape to it, like a lightning bolt maybe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go any further, we wanted to point out something about these skyrod videos. This is a clip that we recorded at an investigation in Arkansas of what is clearly a bug. And we wanted to include this here, mainly because the subject of skyrods is something that a lot of skeptics get involved in. Skeptics love to debunk skyrods by simply dismissing them as bugs. So we wanted to play this clip here from our investigation in Arkansas to show you what is clearly a bug. You can see the entire bug's body. It reflects the IR light back to the camera. You can see the wings flapping. This is very, very clearly a bug. And usually when a sky rod appears, it does not look anything like this. And we're going to show you a clip from a previous investigation to further enhance this point. And this clip is from an investigation we did at the Glore Psychiatric Museum. We were in the basement near the elevator when this little thing shows up in the frame. As it zooms past the camera, it does seem seem almost transparent. So, but it does have that semi-corkscrew shape to it, and we did call this one a sky rod. But you don't see the body of a bug, and you don't see the wings flapping, which is what you would expect if it was a bug. So with that in mind, we're going to now play you the clip from our reveal with our client. And the first thing you're going to notice is when this clip plays, the client actually remarks that it's a bug because she thinks it's a bug. And we're going to explain this here in just a second. But first, let's play that clip.
So,
Now I got aliens.
so we're going to show this first one.
Oh my gosh.
In the backyard, camera 4.
Oh, okay, that was a bug.
No,
That's not a bug?
no, that's not a bug. That is a sky rod. I'm gonna show it in slow motion. Watch what happens. See how it's got that corkscrew shape to it?
Oh my god.
That's not a bug.
That is intense.
Now, at first glance, you might think this is a bug. And any skeptic looking at this is probably going to dismiss it as a bug. But the reason we can say this is not a bug, as we previously showed you in the clip before from our investigation at a home in Arkansas, we've showed you what a bug looks like in night vision video. And it doesn't look anything at all like this. You cannot see wings flapping, and you cannot see the body of the bug. You can only see what looks like a spiral corkscrew shape. And whatever this is seems to spiral upwards. It looks like it's actually spinning, and as it spins, it seems to go from 2 spires on each side to 3. So when it first starts coming up from the ground, it seems to have a total of 4 spires, and as it nears the top of the screen, it seems to go to 6. So whatever this is, as it progresses up through the frame, it seems to actually grow in size, and it seems to increase its spirals. But we do not see the clear image of a bug body, nor do we see the clear image of an insect's wings flapping. Therefore, we cannot positively identify this as a bug. The only conclusion we can come to from a scientific perspective is that this is a sky rod. Now, what that sky rod is, we cannot say one way or the other, but we can say it's a sky rod.
There were some noises that we heard coming from the kitchen, like little thumps all through the whole night. One thump here, one thump there. And we caught them in just about every camera, including the camcorder. Listen.
The hell was that? 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 The hell was that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we mentioned previously, when we did this reveal, we didn't have a lot of time to show our client everything that we caught, including numerous videos of possible spirit orbs and a lot of the noises that we heard as well. We played for the client the video you just saw that caught the thumping noise coming from the kitchen. What we did not have time to show the client is what we're about to show you now. The following video clips of the noises that we all heard coming from the kitchen were also included in the disc that we gave to the client. So now we present to you some of the more impressive noises that we heard coming from the kitchen.
What was that? 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 Suddenly start working.
Okay, did you hear something?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I
Back
wasn't
there?
yeah.
Suddenly start working.
Okay, did you hear something?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I
Back
wasn't
there?
yeah.
Suddenly start working.
Okay, did you hear something?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I
Back
wasn't
there?
yeah.
Working. 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 Suddenly start working.
Okay, did you hear something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Suddenly start working.
Okay, did you hear something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Suddenly start working.
Okay, did you hear something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Working. 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 Working.
Okay, so we need to point out a couple of things here. First, just a few weeks before we did our reveal with the client, she had actually moved to a new address from her old one, and she had reported to us that the paranormal activity she had been experiencing at the old address had followed her and was now occurring at the new address. However, the activity that was occurring at the new address was no longer as pronounced, nor was it occurring as often as it had been at the old address. We all experienced a sample of this activity during the reveal with the client. As we were going through the videos of the thumps that we had heard in the kitchen at the old address, we actually heard a thump coming from a different location in the new address while conducting the reveal. We present to you now the video of that event.
Okay. Oh.
Did you hear that?
Was that you?
Oh.
Thumping? Yeah. Sound like it's coming from that in there.
Yeah.
I heard that.
I've been here. I've
Yeah.
heard that for a little bit now.
I thought I was the only one.
No.
I
was
heard
like,
that.
there
Did you
is
hear
a
that?
I did hear noise.
That's weird.
That was your hair.
Okay, this is camera 3 looking into the kitchen. Now, when we first set up our cameras, there is a table back here. There's nothing there like a microwave or an oven or a stove. There's nothing there that should be giving off any kind of light. Nothing at all. It's just an empty space right here. Watch this. And I'll replay it over and over, back to back, back to back.
Wow.
This is light keeps showing up right there.
Dang.
And now slow it down.
I told you that I felt like there was something that would lean over.
This is a screenshot to show you. And then to back it all up, I went back and took our video from when we were setting up. So you can see this is a table. There's no electrical wire outlet. There's nothing, no kind of machinery. There's nothing right there where a light should be coming from.
Get down a little.
See right there. That's where the light's at. There's nothing there. There's no power outlet. There's no oven. There's no microwave. There's nothing there that should be providing a light.
Wow.
And yet there it is. There's a light right there. It shows up. It only happened one time the whole night, and that's the one time it happened.
Dang.
Showed up for a split second, and then it was gone. We got several videos of where Lorene was getting the K2 hits.
Oh my gosh, it is going off.
What?
The K2.
Okay, so now we're going to get into some of the K2 hits we were getting during this investigation. And the vast majority of K2 hits that we did get were from camera 1 in the client's bedroom. Now what I want you to pay attention to in this particular set of clips is this particular spot right here where you see this arrow. That's the lights on the K2 that light up when they detect paranormal activity. Now the unfortunate thing about this particular view of the K2 meter from camera 1 is the fact that the brightest light you see is the very first light. And unfortunately, the first light on the K2, which by the way is a green light, is not a light that indicates any form of paranormal activity. That first green light is nothing more than an indicator light, letting us know that the K2 meter is turned on and that it is working. Only the other lights past that indicate paranormal activity, and those are the lights we have to watch for. In this particular set of video clips, we're going to concentrate on the lights that we see flashing, because those are the lights that tell us there's paranormal activity close by. We actually did get a lot of K2 hits during this investigation, but for the sake of time, we're only going to concentrate on this particular set of clips. Basically, this is just to show the amount of K2 hits we were getting. We actually started getting K2 hits almost as soon as we started the investigation, and we continued getting these hits throughout the night and into the morning. As we have mentioned before in previous videos, the K2 meter is basically a glorified EMF detector. However, with that being said, there are differences between the two. Now in just a moment, we're going to show you the reveal with our client of some of the EMF hits we did get. But before we do that, we do want to mention that we did not get any EMF hits at all for almost the entire investigation. It wasn't until we were just about to end the investigation when we got our first EMF hits. As a matter of fact, they were our only EMF hits. But before we get into that, we're going to go ahead and finish up by saying that yes, we did get a lot of K2 hits throughout the course of this investigation. There were times when we got K2 hits and we were actually in the room to see them, but there were other times that we got K2 hits when we were not in the room. And here we are showing you a little bit of both, because you get to see the clip of the K2 meter flashing and then you hear us react to it. That's the case where we are actually in the room to see it when it does go off. But you also get to see a clip of the K2 meter flashing when we are not in the room. But you get to see a little bit of both here. And now let's move on with our reveal with our client.
Okay, this is the EMF hits that we got in the den. This is the only time we got EMF hits. We didn't get them any other time during the night.
That's the EMF. That's it.
Hey, Lorene,
Yeah?
can you come here for a second?
Oh!
Please tell me you've got your phone handy. I don't have a camcorder out and I don't have my phone ready.
When you don't have no lights on and you're using a camera that doesn't have night vision, you kind of get a black screen with a little dot blinking in the middle. I had to wait until I could get the flashlight on. And this is where we got the flashlight going. And you can see we're staying right in the same spot over and over. Same spot. Right now we're getting no hits. Now we get a 1, a 7, 3. And it kept going kind of up and down, up and down. It would never give a constant reading. 1, 7, 9, 8, 2. And I tested it over at the TV and the Xbox, and it picked up both of them just fine. The K2 has it picks up a wide range around it, up and down, left to right. The EMF detector shoots out a straight shot. It won't pick up anything below it or above it. That's why you have to wave it up and down like this, because you're sending out that straight shot like this.
Right.
So you're seeing what you can pick up. It will not pick up anything to the left or to the right. So Ted was thinking maybe I was picking up the TV or the Xbox, but it couldn't, because it's not shooting in that direction. So, plus the fact that it stays in the same general spot. I kept it in that same line next to, in between the coffee table over here and the Xbox and TV over here. But I stayed in the same general area, and you see now it's not getting anything at all. So we started out getting these hits, and then it just disappeared.
Wow.
And now we're getting 1, 4, 6, 10.
Okay, now what you just heard me say about the difference between the K2 and the EMF detector is actually something that we've tested and proven at a previous investigation. We conducted an investigation for another client at a private residence in which we noticed something very specific happening with both the EMF detector and the K2 meter. Now before we explain all this, what we'd like to do is go ahead and show you, the viewer, a couple of video clips from that investigation so you can actually see and hear what happened. So with that being said, check out these two video clips.
Look at this.
Drop down to 0. Wait a minute, hang on. I'm noticing something. Do me a favor and keep this trained on the K2 right there. I'm fixing to check something here. The last 3 times this thing blinked, it's exactly 20 seconds apart.
Okay.
Hang on. God! Oh,
There's
wait.
something. There's something.
Whoa.
Is there something
Yeah.
electrical around this, underneath this bed?
Okay, so as I previously explained to the client in our reveal, the K2 basically acts as a sort of modified EMF detector. The EMF detector only picks up EMFs that are directly in front of it. It will not pick up anything to the side or above it or below it. It will only pick up what's in front of it. On the opposite side of that is the K2, which can pick up EMFs from all directions. The videos I just provided that you just saw, which are the same as what you're watching right now, are from a previous investigation in which we actually tested and proved this. During that investigation, we started getting EMF hits and K2 hits around this bed. But knowing what we know about the way the EMF detector and the K2 meter both work, we were actually able to debunk this one pretty quick. As you noticed, when I had the EMF detector aimed at a slight angle towards the bed, it was getting very light EMF hits, and the closer it got to the bed, the more intense and pronounced those hits became. Then when I set the EMF detector flat on the bed, the readings went to 0. This actually proves that the EMF detector can only detect EMFs in front of it. It never detected anything below it, above it, or from side to side, only what was in front of it. On the opposite side of that, Lorraine was getting K2 hits. She placed the K2 flat on the bed, and it was still getting those same K2 hits. And every single K2 hit she got was very strong, very intense, and very pronounced. The reading was going from green to red, lighting up every single light. This proved that the K2 meter was picking up what was beneath it. The way we were able to debunk that bed was a simple fact that the K2 meter was still picking it up even when it laid flat on the bed, and was getting a K2 hit every 20 seconds, which told us that something was on a timer, but also the fact that the EMF detector did not pick up anything when it laid flat. The EMF detector only picked up hits when it was actually pointed at the bed. The way these two devices work, the EMF detector and the K2 meter, actually gave us what we needed in order to debunk that bed, and we actually did discover that it had an electric blanket underneath the covers. Once we unplugged that electric blanket, we did not get any more hits for the rest of the night. This is what I was telling the client about in our reveal in this particular video, and I was basically explaining to the client that this is the way the EMF detector and the K2 meters both work. The K2 meter picks up EMFs all around it, whereas the EMF detector only picks up what's in front of it. And this is the reason why I know that when I was getting those EMF hits in the den, I was not picking up the TV or the Xbox, which were to my left. I was actually staying in a steady line between the TV and the Xbox on the left and the coffee table on the right. And you'll notice in the video that we're showing now from this client that we took in the den, I was getting some EMF hits when nothing physically electronic was in front of me, which told me this was a legitimate paranormal EMF hit. So now, with all that out of the way, let's move on with the rest of the reveal.
The other thing I wanted to talk to you about is the door moving. When we first started noticing the door moving, it seemed like it was only doing it when I would pass through it.
Yeah.
So everybody started joking that it had the thing for me.
First thought I was having a look at it.
We just heard like what was either a pop or a thump coming
yeah.
from the kitchen.
Oh, is that
Told you,
right?
that's where I hear it from.
Yeah.
Well, we heard light.
What the hell?
Holy moly!
I didn't do that.
It likes him
Did you
coming
touch
in.
it?
I don't know. I didn't touch it. Ted wanted me to remind everybody to try to stay clear of the doorway because we can't see into this room in here, and we're trying to see that. He wants to be able to see that toy right there if it moves, and also the door if it moves. And we can't have anything blocking the camera right here. What the?
No, it's still going.
It's still going.
Oh my God!
It does not want him in the room. Yeah, it wouldn't do it quite that That, yeah.
Did you see
And
that?
you just said so we can see the door close.
I know.
Yeah, but why would it close that much? Wouldn't it have? I don't know. I don't want to debunk. I don't know.
It's just weird because it closed even more.
It moved a little.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's moving now.
I know.
We're watching it. It shouldn't still be moving.
No, it shouldn't.
That is awesome there.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
But then it did it when you went through. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. That wasn't me. That was Lorraine. We've got one where all of y'all went through
Yes.
and it moved.
that was me hitting the door.
That is like the creepiest sound. Just really
Still going.
Came back in here. It wasn't blinking when I first walked in. I sat down and started blinking.
There's another one where all y'all went through and it didn't move.
right.
There's several where I went through and it didn't move. That's why all of us kept, me and you especially, we kind of, there's like 2 or 3 times when me and, or either me or you, would kind of
See if that would
see
open
if
it,
the
move
boards
it,
or
yeah.
or we would move around it in a different way to see if the air was moving it some way. And we never could really debunk it fully, one way or the other. This is one where it doesn't move when I go through, so there's that. And we showed this actually in the blooper reel too, so.
It didn't freaking move
No, it didn't. No, it didn't.
So that pretty much disproved everybody's theory that they thought it was just me.
Yeah.
So this is where Lorene got Ted to come in and test the door to see if it would move.
Hey Ted, can you come through this doorway?
I'm fine.
Yeah, I can tell his button here.
I guess I could walk in there and see.
All his body creaks. Thought it was a floor, it was his knees.
You want to see if it's...
If it's gonna move,
Yeah. Because whenever Michael does it, that door almost closed all the way. No, it must be Michael.
must not like you.
That's funny. I forgot that happened.
Okay, the last one I want to show you.
Okay, so I'm having to do a voiceover for this last one because we lost the footage from the reveal. We think somebody may have accidentally bumped the record button on the camcorder and it stopped recording. We didn't realize it until after we had already done several other clips, so we actually lost a lot of footage of the reveal. I did eventually notice that it had stopped recording, so I had to physically get up and move around and hit the record button so we could get the rest of the reveal. For the sake of this last clip of the door, as well as a few others on this video, yes, this is the reason why I've had to do voiceovers on a few of these clips, because someone accidentally bumped the record button and it stopped recording, and then I had to turn it back on and start recording again. So anyway, let's get into this last clip of the door. As you heard us talking about earlier, one of the client's claims was that the door in her bedroom would slowly start to creak closed anytime she would enter her bedroom and eventually shut by itself. We actually spent a lot of time in this investigation trying to test that door, and as you heard me telling the client earlier, we never could fully debunk that door because it would try to creak closed when I passed through it many times at the beginning of the investigation, and it did not try to creak closed when others passed through it, leading everyone to believe that if a spirit was indeed involved, it was just toying with me. But that all changed when Lorene passed through the door and it tried to creak closed. But then later it did the same thing when the client went through, and it also did it when all the girls went through the door into the bedroom. We also have several clips where it did not try to close when I went through. Also, as mentioned earlier, Lorene and myself did try several times to debunk that door by stepping on certain floorboards to see if possibly a loose floorboard might be causing the door to move. We also tried walking through the door and around the door at different speeds, trying to see if there was any way the air was moving the door, and none of these attempts were successful. We also noticed the way the house sits, and we noticed that the bedroom is actually facing uphill, but only at a very slight incline, which tells us that this door is moving against gravity, because the direction that this door closes is facing uphill at a slight incline. It should also be noted that there are 4 other doors in the house that face in the same direction as this door and close in the same direction as this door, but this is the only door in the house that tries to creak shut. The problem of gravity alone is a problem that we could not get around, because every clip that we have of this door trying to creak shut, we again have to emphasize that it is moving against gravity, because the direction the door shuts is facing a slight incline uphill. So now with that said, let's watch this clip.
Was that you?
I moved my foot.
Okay.
So,
Did you hear that?
that's a train thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, come on now. Hey! Okay. That was funky.
Did it close all the way?
Almost did. We also have footage of the exact same thing from a different angle using camera 2 in the child's bedroom.
Who? Was that you?
I moved my foot.
Alright, come on now. Hey! Okay. That was funky.
Did it close all the way?
It almost did. My only regret about the footage from camera 2 is that we didn't have it shifted a little bit more to the left. If it had just been shifted a few inches more over to the left, we would have clearly caught the footage of what actually happened here. When we watched the footage from camera 1 in the client's bedroom, I go through several minutes of testing the door, trying to see if there's any way the air could be moving that door as I move past it. When I moved into the child's bedroom, my first thought was to try to make one more pass through the door, but I realized I probably wasn't going to fit through, so I decided that the best thing to do was to just grab the doorknob, open the door back up, and try again. But that's not what happened, because as I reached for the doorknob, that door suddenly lurched forward and almost closed. You can actually hear the tap when the door latch mechanism bumps against the door frame. It doesn't actually latch shut, but it almost did. That's why you hear me yell out, "Hey," towards the end of the clip, because this took me by surprise. And I want to reiterate once again that my only regret is that we didn't have that camera 2, in the child's bedroom shifted over just a couple of inches to the left, because if it had, there is no way anyone, including skeptics, would ever be able to question this video, because it would show that my hand never touched that doorknob. Unfortunately, we didn't have the camera shifted over to the left as we should have in order to catch this. But then again, this was not expected to happen. The main reason we had this camera in the child's bedroom didn't have anything to do with that door. We were actually using that camera to try and figure out what was going on with what the child claimed to be seeing was a face on the wall in that bedroom. That's the main reason we had that camera pointed in the direction that it was. If we had even thought that we would need that camera to get footage of the door in the client's bedroom from the opposite direction, we would definitely have faced it in a different direction. However, the footage that we have, all we can say is It is what it is. All I can tell you is that door moved on its own, and I experienced it. And now with that out of the way, let's move on with the rest of the reveal.
Okay, tapping. I definitely want you to see this one. This is where you and Wendy and her were all in that bedroom together. And you hear what sounds like a tapping noise. Can you hear the tapping noise? Barely hear it.
Like it was on the wall.
Yeah. And when y'all hear it, you all looking over to that side of the wall over there.
Yeah.
Was that you?
Did you see a shadow?
I didn't see a shadow, but I heard a tap.
Yes, you did hear a tap, and you're going to hear another one. Except this one is a lot louder, and you both heard this one too.
No, let me be
Just like
prepared
you
to be
both heard the
scared.
first one, but the first one is more hard. It's more hard to hear on the video, but you both heard it. And just a few seconds later, this.
That wasn't me though. It came from up there.
Yes, I heard it come from that corner. Can you do that again?
Oh my
It was
God.
a direct response.
Yep.
She
I
asked to do
heard
it again, and it did
It
it.
did it again. Yep.
Oh my.
It was a direct response.
It was don't don't don't.
The second one was a lot louder than the first one.
But you know what it sounded like it came from? My bed frame or the window. Like it wasn't on the walls.
Yeah, it had like a metallic sound
Yeah.
to it.
Was that you?
Did you see a shadow?
I didn't see a shadow, but I heard a tap. It's doing it
That
again.
wasn't me though. It came from up there.
Yes, I heard it come from that corner. Can you do that again?
Yes, I can do that again.
Is the bottle, it's going to show in there with the bottle?
Told you. I told you.
Yeah,
guys.
the bottle was in here. Yeah.
Yeah, that thing scared the heck out of me. I poured the whole Malibu in that cup.
Just drank all my alcohol.
But the pop scared me to death.
The bottle popping. The thing with the bottle popping. This is from camera 3 in the den. I'm in the kitchen back there. I've got the camcorder kind of floating around with the camcorder in night vision. You apparently didn't realize I was back there because you hear my footsteps. And you're looking back, and you start to look back there going, like, do you hear something? You didn't realize it was me. But it's right after this when that bottle pops.
Oh!
Right there. And here I come with the camcorder.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. How do you know it's not? Because it's pressed in. It's pressed in. It was a soda bottle. Yep, it is.
It sure is.
Now, the problem with this particular video, even though I thought I was getting video of it with the camcorder,
No.
I didn't.
That's just
It turns out when I got home, I went through all the memory cards to go through all the videos.
Yeah.
That particular memory card, I don't know why, but for some reason that memory card got corrupted. The
Okay.
video was lost.
That's
So
just off of it.
we didn't get any video of the actual bottle with the dent in it,
But we heard it.
but we heard it.
Wow.
So you do get to see at least the reactions of us when it happens.
We all jumped. It was great.
I was sitting next to the bottle.
The neat thing about it is there's actually 3 different views of this, but I'm not going to go through all 3 of them. The one in your room only caught the sound, but this one actually catches all of us through that doorway. So again, it's a different view, but the same thing. You see our reactions when it happens. You can see them in there.
That was the bottle again?
Yeah.
That was the one they done popped.
No.
Oh, that ain't one they done popped?
This is
It unpops
this is the
late.
video taken from camera 2. It's a different angle. Same thing, but from a different angle. I did a split screen of this, so you get to see 2 different views at the same time.
Oh,
Every time.
look at me. Oh, that thing scared me to death.
Now here's where the bottle pops the second time. Now the second time I didn't have a camcorder going. I didn't have my phone or anything. But we were standing right in front of camera 3 that was aimed towards the kitchen, so that camera at least caught not only our reactions, but the fact that I knew I didn't have a camera with me, so I took the bottle and I put it in front of the camera and said, look, the little dip's gone. She did admit that he had some little problems. She didn't want any detail about it.
My face.
I just heard that. That's that bottle again. Did it dent it in?
It's not dented anymore. I haven't drank
The
it.
dent came out.
The dent came out.
The dent came out.
And I haven't drank it. I've opened up my...
Look, the dent is gone.
Oh my gosh!
That takes some force to do that.
And to redo it?
Okay, what you want to look for is right here. You want to look right here. You'll see something pass right in front of her face right here. See that? She saw it. See that?
Yes.
I don't think so. Did you see the car drive by?
Look at me being a scared.
No. I saw like something bright go in my eyesight, like across this way. If that makes sense.
It does, but I didn't. The car didn't go by. You would have seen that. Would have heard it too.
Okay, now I've taken the shot and I've slowed it down and replayed it several times, so you're going to see this little thing as it passes right by her face right there. And she actually saw this thing, whatever it was, but they didn't. They didn't see it.
Who didn't see it?
You and her and Wendy and Lorene, because Wendy and Lorene are standing over here. They didn't see it.
But she saw it.
Yeah,
She saw it. She's the only one that saw it.
I see it. I've seen it all the time at home.
Lighting up. Can you light up more than one?
And then she starts getting K2 hits over by that dresser where that music box was sitting.
You just saw something. Did something drive by?
I don't think so. Did you see the car drive by?
Mm-mm.
I didn't hear one.
No. I saw like something bright go in my eyesight, like across this way. If that makes sense.
It does, but I didn't. The car didn't go by. You would have seen that. Would have heard it too.
Just picking up on the clock.
Okay.
I saw that.
Yes, it's lightening up. Can you light up more than one?
Can you light up more than one?
There's a picture of my brother in there.
Really?
When he passed away
How long ago?
13 years ago.
What's your brother's name?
Matt. I'm just crying.
Is your name Matt? Are you trying to tell your sister something? We're here to listen.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut it short. Basically what happens in the rest of the video is she keeps getting these K2 hits. We got one right here. Okay, right at the very beginning of the video, as soon as it starts, listen, you'll hear what sounds like a moan and then like a little, those two noises.
What was that? What was that? What was that? What was that? What was that?
Can you hear it?
Did you?
What was that? What was that? What was that?
It sounds like it's saying, did you?
See, that's what it's saying?
Yeah. 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 That's what it sounds like. Yeah. That's crazy.
One thing we'd like to point out at this point is that the moan that the girls heard in the video from camera 1 was actually caught in camera 2 as well, and it's actually easier to hear in camera 2. So with that said, we'd like to go ahead and play for you now the video of the EVP of the moan that was caught in camera 2 at the same time as the moan heard in camera 1.
Okay, now this one, what you've got here is, Lorene asked the question, are you wanting to do harm to the people in the house? Mm-hmm. And the response she gets, you'll hear a voice, but you'll also hear a cha-ching, cha-ching, like a clinking or clanking noise. We don't know what that is.
Is there something here wanting to harm the people who are living here now?
But I want to see if you can hear the voice.
Harm the people who are living here now? Is there something here wanting to harm the people who are living here now? Is there something
Hear the
here
voice.
wanting to harm the people who are living here now?
No.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
I heard no.
Yeah. So she got a direct response, a voice saying no, so that means whatever it is does not mean any harm.
As we have pointed out in previous videos, we always respect the privacy of our clients, so we never ever reveal the full name or address of any client. The only exception to this would possibly be if we captured an EVP that literally says the client's name. In order to play that EVP and show it as evidence of paranormal activity, we would, by necessity, be required to use the client's name. Fortunately for us, this is not the case here. We will go ahead and say that for the purposes of this video, we have not and will not reveal the name or address of this client. And for the sake of the child involved, for this next EVP, we have edited out the name of the child, even though it is the name of the child that actually gets a response in the form of an EVP. So let's watch this clip.
Okay, now this one, what you basically got here, Lorene asked the question, do you like the kids in the house? Do you have a fondness for... You told us that's your daughter's name.
Yeah.
She did get a response.
Do you like the kids that live here? Are you especially fond of... Did you hear that?
Yeah.
You heard that?
Wow. Let me hear, let me hear.
I said yes. Yeah.
Do you like the kids that live here? Are you especially fond of... Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was so weird. It said yeah.
I know.
That's so weird.
Okay, now, we've already seen this reveal get emotional during a previous clip in which Lorene was getting K2 hits by a music box on a dresser, and the client informed us that that music box actually contained a photograph of her brother who had passed away at the age of 19. Well, now, this reveal is going to get even more emotional when we show the client this next EVP we caught. And we want to keep in mind the name of her brother, Matt.
We got that, and then we got this one. And this is another one that I believe is going to be very
I think so too.
emotional for you.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I'll explain it here in just a second. Now, there's no real particular reason for this EVP because nobody asked a question, so it's not like, I don't think it's a direct response to anything, but it's just strange that it happens to occur. But I want you to watch the timestamp, 2:25:42. At the end of the 42 seconds, when it starts to go to 43, that's where you want to concentrate on it. Did you hear it?
Play it again.
Yeah.
What do you think it said?
It's Matt.
Yeah.
That's
What?
that's what we thought. Yep.
What happened?
It's a voice that says Matt.
And it's very clear.
And it's very
like
clear.
Matt.
Yeah.
Did I
Like
hear
You
it?
can hear
Really
the
wants
M. You
you to
can hear the M and the T. Matt. Very clear.
Who say that?
That's the conclusion we came to that we wanted to explain to you and why we knew this was going to be an emotional reveal.
Yeah, I heard my
We think it is your brother Matt. That's what we think. Now we can't say one way or the other for certain if it's a ghost or an angel. But we believe that if it is a ghost or if it's an angel, either way, it doesn't really matter. We think it really is your brother and he's acting like a guardian angel for you.
Is that on this one?
Yeah, it's everything on here is on that disc.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to show my mom.
Yeah. Now, all through the whole night, everything that happened, everything with that door that kept creaking, the bottle popping, everything. You had mentioned that your brother, when he was alive, he was a little bit of a prankster, a jokester.
Yeah.
We think that's what was happening. He was kind of trying to prank with us.
Yeah. That makes sense.
As we were about to wrap up the reveal with the client, the subject of the previous video of the orb that passed in front of her face came up.
I would sit and I had Googled it multiple times thinking like maybe there's something wrong with my eyesight or my health, but I kept feeling like I saw flashes like in my eyesight in the corner of my eyes. And I haven't had it here, and I also have not had the random really strong scent of like cigarette smoke. It was like as soon as I moved out of that house, I didn't get that. Like it was gone.
Did your brother smoke?
Yeah. So I don't know why he was more prominent in that house than he has been.
There might have been something in that house with you that he didn't like.
Maybe he was protecting you.
Yeah, that very well could be.
And since you moved, maybe it's not so prominent, for him to be around as much.
Now, have you noticed anything here?
I mean, I hear sounds every once in a while. Like, sometimes it sounds like someone's opening the cabinets and shutting them, but not like hard, but like just open and close it like you're getting something out. I look back and there's nothing there. And then sometimes I feel like something's standing behind me when I sit on the couch, but then at the same time, that's an open area, so I'm like, well, maybe it's because I'm anxious.
Right.
But
Could be him still looking over you.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When this client first contacted us and asked us to do an investigation for her, one of the first things we did was look up the history of her residence. While researching the history of the house, we learned that at least one person, possibly two, had died in that house. We learned that the first person who lived there had bought the house when it was new and had lived there for 25 years and passed away at an old age. The second person who owned the home bought it after the first person had passed away, but we couldn't find any record of what happened to the second owner. We did learn that there had been a fire at the house and that a portion of the house had been burned to the ground. That portion of the house had been completely rebuilt and remodeled, but we don't know with absolute certainty if that second owner died there. We don't know. We can speculate, but speculation is not fact, although we do think it may be possible. While it's hard to say whether both people had died in the house, we know at least one of them did. And while we can't say for sure if either of these two people may have been haunting the house in the afterlife, we will say that it is possible that perhaps one of them may have been haunting this house, and that may have been the reason behind the moan that the girls heard in one of our EVP clips. And while we can't say specifically whether one or both of those people may have been spirits in the house, what we will say is that everything that we caught on video and audio leads us to believe that the client's brother, Matt, who had passed away for whatever reason, did not like the other spirit that we believe was possibly there. But we believe that the reason the paranormal activity she was experiencing was so prominent was because her brother was watching over her and protecting her. As she mentioned at the end of the reveal, once she moved out of that residence and into the home where she now lives, the activity became less pronounced, which leads us to believe that even though it may not be as prominent now, her brother is still looking after her. Knowing that her brother is looking after her has put this client at ease, and she has come to terms with it, and we can gladly say that our investigation gave this client some closure, and she now lives her life in peace, knowing that her brother will always be there for her. So that's the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments. If you'd like to know more about what we do, how we conduct our investigations, or if you're experiencing paranormal phenomenon and you'd like for us to do an investigation for you, you can check out our website at MissouriParanormalAssociation.com, and you can contact us by using the Contact Us page. Or if you'd like to contact us directly, you can do so at our email at MissouriParanormalAssociation@gmail.com, and you can follow our team on our Facebook page. Please don't forget, leave a comment in the comments section below and let us know what you thought about this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all in the next video.